Hello everyone, I'm joined by Cohnan Kotarski. He is an Instagram influencer, I think up and coming bodybuilder is a term to describe yourself. How are you, mate? How you doing?
Dude, I'm good, man. I'm just living life, taking it day by day, so I'm enjoying it, man. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks for asking. I'm very excited to have you on. Been following you now, as I said before, for it must be a year now, ever since you started competing. Came up on my Instagram, been following you ever since. Are you traveling at the moment?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story. So back in March, a couple months ago, I bought my car. I bought my first car, and it's something I've always wanted to do, just go across the border, because I used to live in Canada, in Vancouver, and I've always wanted to just buy a car, just cross the border and just travel across the state. So I left in mid-March. My first destination was LA, because my older brother, who's a couple years older than me, he lives in LA, so I went to go visit him for a couple weeks. And then my end kind of destination goal was always to come here to Texas. So I stayed in LA for about 2 weeks, just kind of explored the city. I went to Muscle Beach, Gold's Gym, stuff like that. Was there for a couple weeks, and then after that I drove further down to Texas. And yeah, I've been here ever since now for I think 2 or 3 months now. So yeah.
And what are your plans going forward? Are you going to return home any point soon, or are you just enjoying it at the moment?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story in terms of I used to go to university, to school. I was studying economics, just a arts program, and basically this year, the start of 2022, I was doing online school since COVID hit in March 2020. So I've been doing online school since then, and it's funny because in Canada the restrictions are pretty serious in terms of the whole COVID thing and the vaccine, and even for online school, which still baffles me to this day, they actually kicked me out of online school because I didn't have the vaccine. So they kicked me out for that, and then so since then, obviously I was really just confused about it, because even for online school, why would you need that to do school online, through the computer, right? It's not in person, so that really confused me. And basically I was really just upset and disappointed, but I kind of took it as a positive, and I was like, you know what, I really love fitness. I'm doing this social media thing, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Got a bunch of connections here in the States, specifically here in Texas, at Alpha Land. And so I was like, you know what, let me just buy a freaking car, let me drive across the border, get out of Canada, and yeah, man, just freaking drive to Texas, meet all the people that I've seen on social media in person now, build these connections. Now I have a bunch of relationships with these people, and yeah, I haven't really looked back since. So to answer your question, what are my plans moving forward? Like I said, I'm just taking it day by day. I plan on staying here for a while. I'm doing online coaching, so that's really helping me. I get some money from social media stuff as well. So I'm pretty comfortable right now, but I definitely want to take my coaching business to the next level and keep kind of scaling that. So yeah, moving forward, I see myself staying here for at least, again, taking day by day, but a couple months at least, and then I can always go back home. But for now, I really like this current situation here in Texas.
I respect it, mate. I think it's disgusting how they've treated you, to be fair. Okay, right, some people think you should get the vaccine, some people think you shouldn't, but at the end of the day, you should have a choice, and you shouldn't be discriminated for whatever choice you make. So, yeah, that's outrageous. But anyway, mate, you're much bigger than that. So, anyway, how would you best describe what you do? Because what you do, it is a bit different from what everyone usually does. It's not the typical 9 to 5. I know you did have a job before. I don't know how that's going, but yeah. Anyway, how would you describe what you do?
Yeah, so like I said, I do online coaching, so that's the main kind of gig I do. So obviously I have clients and I coach them online, so I offer them a custom meal plan, custom workout program, and accountability with weekly check-ins and stuff. So that's the main thing I do. And yeah, it's quite funny because the stuff I post on social media actually earns me money as well, the reels, YouTube monetization, not really TikTok either, but yeah, those are the main things I do. So yeah, I guess you could just call me an online fitness coach, online coach. I got my personal training certificates. So yeah, it's this is my biggest passion. Even in my free time, you know, how people watch Netflix at night, or they'll watch TV shows. Not to brag here, but I like my hobby is like watching like hypertrophy stuff, like the science behind building muscle. I'm just really just like obsessed and addicted to like this entire topic and just learning more about it every single day. So that's like my biggest passion, and I guess you could call me, yeah, again, like an online fitness coach.
How did you get into fitness? Because I've seen before as well, you used to play football or soccer. But yeah, how did you get into fitness?
Football, man. College football.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, how did you transition?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Netherlands or Holland. So yeah, I grew up there. I lived there for 11 years. So yeah, that's like when people ask me like where am I from? Where's my accent from? As you can probably tell, it's hard to tell, but yeah, I'm from the Netherlands. Lived there for 11 years, and then my family and I decided to move to Canada. Don't ask me why we decided to move to Canada. Like my parents, like they've traveled across the world. They met in Australia. My mom's German. My dad's American. My older brother was born in London. So they've been everywhere, right? So we decided to move to Canada, and yeah, played soccer all my life. Obviously in Europe, football is pretty big. Like it's played all over Europe, so it was really big. That was my passion growing up, and it still is to this day. Like I still watch the Premier League, still watch like World Cup, the Euros, stuff like that. So it's still one of my biggest passions. But yeah, basically moved to Canada, still played the entire time. And yeah, I even got a scholarship to play soccer in Canada as well. So that was really cool. Like again, I played it every day. I was obsessed with it. It was my passion. And then yeah, pretty much since COVID hit, when the season got canceled and I got sent back home from university, I was still kind of into fitness while I was playing soccer. I did like workouts and stuff, but I didn't really take it super seriously because soccer was obviously like my main priority. Sorry, I keep calling it soccer and football. Sorry,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's not confusing. I'll stick to football. So yeah, I played football. That was like my main priority. I did lifting, like workout stuff, like on the side. Didn't really take it seriously, but basically since COVID hit, that's when I really took it seriously because again, the season got canceled and I was stuck at home. Didn't have much to do, so I bought a home gym. I bought a barbell, squat rack, just a bunch of basic stuff. And yeah, since then, haven't really looked back. It's pretty much like replaced my from like football being the top and then working out being at the bottom. It's pretty much replaced it. So now like working out is like at the top and football is like down here now. So yeah, again, since then, taking it seriously and yeah, I've just freaking loved it. Loved the process of just getting better week after week, month after month, year after year, seeing my body change, not only physically but like mentally as well. My mindset is completely different now. It's changed the way, changed everything in my opinion. So yeah, that's basically how I got into it and when I started taking it seriously. So back in 2020 when COVID hit.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much time onto football, but
Yeah.
the football fan in me wants to know, did you support anyone when you were in Netherlands? Or
Yeah, so in the Netherlands, like I live close to Amsterdam, so Ajax was like
Yeah.
the biggest team. Like I was like a diehard fan. I even had the opportunity to like, like how like at the beginning of the game, it's like the players walk out and then there's like
the mascots?
Yeah. So I had a chance to like walk with one of the players during one of the games. It was just really cool. Got to like walk on the field with like all the stadium being full. That was super cool. So yeah, Ajax was definitely my childhood kind of team, my favorite team growing up. And in terms of Premier League, I love Chelsea. Like that's always been my number one team. No real reason behind it. Like I don't have family there. I don't have connections there. Just Chelsea always appealed to me, and I really like them.
Yeah, no, I was happy with Ajax. I really like Ajax, and then you said Chelsea. Talk to me about your bodybuilding career, because obviously, so hang on a minute, you go from playing, try and become a professional football player, a soccer player, right? And then how long between then was it that you actually competed in your first show? Because you've competed in one proper bodybuilding show, haven't you?
Yeah, so that was in last year in 2021. So yeah, I started taking it more seriously in 2020. Did my show pretty much a year later in 2021. That's when I did my first show. And it's pretty much been like 1 year exactly. It was July 17th when I competed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just over a year ago now. So that's pretty much the transition, yeah.
And so what made you want to compete? Because obviously you haven't been doing the sport for that long. you aren't as experienced as everyone else. What actually made you? What was your motivation to step on stage?
Yeah, so like when I'll be the first to admit, like I definitely wasn't as big as I wanted to be. Like I'll never be as big as I wanted to be, and the whole competing thing, like it's hard to like put a thing on it. But like I watch a bunch of like YouTube fitness influencers, I guess what you want to call them, like Christian Guzman, I don't know, Brennan Harding, he's from the UK, he may know him, and just a bunch of like, all these fitness people, and obviously like they compete as well, they're bodybuilders. And it really appealed to me. It's like I didn't really view it as like I knew going into it that I wouldn't really do well, that I wouldn't win. I mainly did it just to, like challenge myself, because I always like having like a goal and like striving towards a goal. And I just thought, you know what, like I've done this for a couple of years now. I really like enjoy it. Again, I wasn't nowhere big enough, and I got so much hate and so much stick doing it. Like, oh, you're not big enough. Oh, you shouldn't have done it. Blah blah blah. And again, I'll be the first to admit I definitely wasn't big enough. But just the entire experience of like going through prep, doing the cardio, like eating the low amounts of foods, having the low energy, it sounds really unappealing. I don't even know, like it's definitely not for everyone. Like most people, I would say probably not do it, because a lot of bad things can come from it too, like eating disorders, bad relationships with food, and just like having a bad relationship with like the scale, like the gym, stuff like that. So again, it's definitely not for everyone. But again, the challenge of like doing it and going through it day by day really appealed to me for some reason. And yeah, again, it was a good challenge. Got to push myself physically, mentally, emotionally, like in so many ways. It was definitely really difficult, but I definitely don't regret it. Because again, I learned so much from it, and it's definitely something I'm going to do again in the future. But right now I'm just really taking this time to like slowly like build up, gain more size, get a lot bigger. Then hopefully in maybe a year or two, I'll do it again. But yeah, that was like the main reason. I always like having a goal and like striving towards it.
How old were you when you competed that first time?
I was 20 years old. Yeah.
20. See, that's my age now, and I could never imagine myself having the balls to step on stage like you did. So
I mean, like
fair enough.
There's kids nowadays that compete at like 17, 18, and they have like these crazy genetics, right? So, yeah.
No, it's unreal. And would you say that, like you really kind of just said, but did you that first show, does it set down a foundation for the rest of your potential bodybuilding career? Because you've got that experience now, and in the future, when you do, when you finish your bulk, when you go to compete again, you're not going to have those nerves that someone initially would when they step on stage the first time.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, the funny thing is that when I stepped on stage, like I was not nervous at all. I was more like excited and like just happy to like get it done and over with, because I made so many mistakes on my last prep. Like obviously, because it was my first time doing it, I didn't really have like a good idea of like how to do it properly, right? But especially with like peak week, manipulating like the water, sodium levels, stuff like that. Like I had no idea what I was doing. And so definitely like whatever you do your first time, right, it's always going to be like it's never going to be perfect, right? Like the more of it you do, the better you get. So your first time is never going to be like the best time ever, right? So I definitely took it as like a learning experience. I definitely made mistakes along the way, and I definitely know next time I do it not to make those mistakes. So yeah, again, it was just a good learning experience, and definitely now I know what to do and what not to do moving forward. And again, like the second time I do it, I may make a couple other mistakes. So it's just like the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm definitely not I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to like this whole thing, but definitely like I try to learn new things every single day, and also just like going through it, experiencing it, and yeah, that's basically it.
You've mentioned quite a few times online, actually, and I respect you for being so open about it. Sorry. After you did that show, and how you just mentioned earlier, you got quite a lot of hate online, didn't you? For the typically down to your size, and maybe perhaps your immaturity to step on stage, as in you were quite young. What was that like? What was it like to work so hard for so long and then receive that online?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I still get hate to this day. So it's something you get used to it. But at the same time, it's like there's always like I get a bunch of positive comments as well, and like I appreciate it. But it's always like that one comment that like sticks out to you. It's like you get 99 positive comments, and there's always like that one comment that like really sticks with you. You know what I mean? So like it's hard to like it's you accept it, but it's hard to like get used to it in a way. So something I listen to Gary Vee a lot, and something he says a lot, or I guess preaches, is that he doesn't really listen to anything. So he doesn't really listen to like the positive stuff, and he doesn't really listen to like the negative stuff. He's just tunnel vision, just blocking it all out. And that's something that I've tried to do. And again, it's like you get used to it, to be honest, but definitely like at the time, during the time, like literally right after doing my my show, I posted a video of like me stepping on stage, and like I posted it on TikTok, and the algorithm is a bit different on TikTok, at least back then, because like you post something and it goes on like the For You page, and it just goes to a bunch of random people who have no idea who you are, they have no context, they have no idea where you came from, why you did it, etc., etc. So they see this skinny kid stepping on stage, and they're like, "Who's this guy? Who does he think he is? Why is he stepping on stage? He's super skinny, super small. He has no idea what he's doing." So I can kind of see like their perspective from it, in terms of like asking me like or giving me hate, like why would he do that? It's a mistake, stuff like that, blah blah blah. I still have the video on my phone. I still listen to it from time to time. Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like I'm not mad. I'm not like I'm not upset of it, because at the same time, like I'm putting myself out there. Like I'm the one choosing to put myself on social media. I could have done a show, and I could have not told anyone. I could have not taken any pictures. I could have not documented my journey. So it's definitely something I put on myself. And like I would rather do that than not do that, because now, a couple of years from now, when I compete again, I can look back on that and say, "Look at me now, haters," or whatever, right? So it's always good. I love documenting like everything, like the entire process, because like even now, like on YouTube, I started YouTube like 2019, and I can look back on my first video and just like, it's super cringy, don't get me wrong, but at the same time I can see like, wow, I grew so much, right? Like just like seeing everything like year by year, it's just really cool just to like see you evolve and like see like all the mistakes you've made, and then just learn from them, right? So yeah, again, hate it, like I'm sure with your podcast as well, like once you grow it's like a bunch of like million viewers, you're probably gonna get hate as well. So you're choosing to do it, so just expect it, and just learn to deal with it.
No, I appreciate that. What was it like after the show mentally? Was it difficult? And also, how do you then carry on in the sport after you get comments like that?
Yeah, so after the show, like I'll be the first to admit, like I am kind of, I forget what the right term is, like fat phobic, or I don't know, but definitely like, because like it's so weird, because this whole bodybuilding thing, like I said, it's definitely not for everyone, and it's one of those things where it's like when you see yourself at like prime states, like top condition, super lean, super shredded, it's hard for you to like transition out of that, because obviously like you want to sustain that, like you want to stay there, right? You want to stay nice and lean, you want to stay nice and ripped. So it's like it can definitely affect you mentally, seeing yourself like go from like top shape like on the stage to like slowly transitioning into like more of like getting puffier post show, because obviously like you're eating normal food now, you'll rebound. So it's definitely hard mentally to like see yourself kind of like not get fat, but like get more chubbier post show.
Yeah, moving forward, because a lot of people might not be able to bounce back from getting comments like that and thinking, well, you know what is the point in it all?
Yeah.
Did you experience any of that, or did they actually motivate you to carry on?
Yeah, so like I said, like I kind of blocked it out, but for me the biggest thing is that like I genuinely like enjoy it. Like it doesn't matter what anyone says, what they think, whatever. Like it's like my passion, right? Just like football was. Right now it's like transitioned into like more bodybuilding stuff. So honestly, like I don't really care what anyone else has to say. As long as I'm doing what I enjoy, I like doing it, and like I can see like self-improvements, then that's honestly all that matters, right? I know it sounds really cheesy, really cliche, but honestly, like that's the biggest thing, right? If you're doing what you're enjoying, it's like it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks, right? So, and as long as you're not like harming anyone or like hurting anyone, like I didn't offend anyone by competing, right? Like some people actually like took it personally. They're like, "You're offending the sport. Why would you do such a thing?" And it's like, I didn't personally attack you or anything, right? So as long as you're doing what you enjoy and you're not harming anyone directly, I think you do you, man. So yeah.
I'll be honest, because I think that was the first video that I saw of you when you first competed. Because did that video kind of blow up because it was the first video that I saw? Was it a big video for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've done, like I said, I started in 2019, so like I've done it like 2 or 3 years prior to that. But yeah, that video specifically, it like exploded on TikTok, and then I reposted it on Instagram as well. And yeah, I got like, I think like close to 1 million views. So yeah, that one, that was like not my most popular one, but it was one of, yeah, at least at the time. Like since then, I've had other videos kind of blow up, but like at the time, when I was still relatively small in terms of like followers and stuff, like it was a pretty big deal. Yeah.
I'll be honest, like at the time, like I was like it caught my attention, you know, seeing someone who looked so young. And at that time, I was trying to get in shape. I was trying to go to the gym and things like that. And I saw that and I thought, wow, that's to do that, I really, really respect it. I wanted to come on to your diet now because, you know, I've followed you for a little while now, coming up to a year, and I've always noticed that you're very clean, very regimented in pretty much everything you eat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my perception from watching you on Instagram. And even now, when you're bulking, when your calories are a bit higher, you're still very on it all the time. Lots of veg, very healthy foods, always. Can you explain to me what your approach is to nutrition and why it's so not regimented, but kind of perfect, really?
Yeah, man. So for me, like, it's yeah, like I know it sounds weird, but like I genuinely do enjoy just like eating cleaner-ish foods. Like obviously, for most of my clients, and including myself, I always preach like the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, make sure you eat like whole natural foods, like single ingredient stuff. And then the other 20%, you can kind of indulge in like the other junk, cheat foods, whatever, pizza, burgers.
I don't see any of the 20 in yours though.
Yeah,
I see 100.
That's the thing. And it's like people, like I post full day of eating videos like all over the place. And a lot of people like think that like, oh, why is he eating so clean? Like, why is he doing that to himself? And it's like, I keep saying this in every single one of my videos, but like the reason I've been doing this for years, right? Like the reason why I stick to this specific way of eating is because number one, I genuinely enjoy it. And number two, it makes me feel super good. So it's like, even though like I said, I can follow the 80-20 rule, like I genuinely enjoy just like eating my morning bowl of oatmeal, my whatever, chicken stir fry, vegetables, fruits, like whole grain, like oats, well, like natural stuff. Like I genuinely enjoy it. Like I enjoy, like I'll be the first to admit, like I'm a pretty good chef as well, so I definitely know how to like spice things up, make it taste super tasty. So that's the first thing. And again, secondly, like because I'm so used to it, I don't really view it as like a diet necessarily. Like I just view it as like my lifestyle, the way I eat, the way I live. I feel my body, I feel good. My skin's nice and clear. Like it's just, yeah, man. Like I really enjoy it. I can stick with it, and that's the most important thing, right? Like I would never tell anyone to eat the way I do if you can never sustain it, right? So if anyone asks me like, oh, I should eat like him to look like him, like I'll be like, no, you don't have to do that. Just like again, 80-20 rule, and then again, just make sure like you follow like whatever calories and macros are set for you, whatever those are, depending on your goals. Again, it just whatever you enjoy, whatever you can stick with, that is going to be the best for you. And for me, it just happens to be like super clean, right? So yeah.
Does it help you stay more consistent as well? Kind of having these foods that you don't really want to change, you're happy with them. Does that help?
Yes, dude. Yes. So like, I haven't really tracked like in terms of like tracking it on like my MyFitnessPal or whatever on like a calorie app. I haven't tracked like super accurately in a really long time because like I already know what I'm eating for breakfast. It's like oatmeal, protein powder, berries, whatever. For lunch, I'll have like rice, chicken breasts, vegetables with some sauce. Dinner, I'll have like it's pretty consistent. Like the meals are pretty like basic and consistent, and like I may like switch up the vegetables or fruits or like the condiments, the sauces, the protein sources may change, whatever. But like the principles and like the main things are pretty similar. So like it definitely helps me from like not having to track it every single day because it can get quite tedious, like having to like pull up your app, weighing everything, tracking everything, like seeing what actually fits within your macros. So that can be quite annoying for most people, especially if you're like super busy and you're on the go and you like work jobs and stuff. So for me, like I like the approach of like, again, don't have to do this. This is like what I like to do. Just keeping meals pretty similar, at least for the week. So when I do my grocery shop, I just buy similar foods. I meal prep it or whatever, and then I just like eat those similar types of foods throughout the week. And again, it just saves me from like having to like track everything, right? So yeah.
Do you meal prep for the whole week? So like you take one day out and then you're sorted for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so what I do is like I'll batch cook a bunch of like my staple foods. So like in the fridge right now I got a big kind of batch of like chicken breast that I did batch cook like whatever on a Sunday. So like right now whenever I like want to make a meal, I'll just grab the chicken breast, throw it into one of my meals, and there we go, super easy. Then along with that I got like my pasta batch cooked and then my rice as well. So it's really easy, just like plate it up, put it in like whatever plates, microwave it, and then eat it as you go. So that's the way I do it. I don't put it into like separate meals, because like I still like to make it somewhat fresh. But I'll have like the basic bulk foods, like my proteins, my carbs. I'll have those like ready to go, so I don't have to like cook them separately, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I respect him. I save a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Next thing I wanted to ask you was obviously your calories are a lot higher nowadays, but when you came out of comp, and you touched on it earlier, or you came out of competing, you touched on it earlier, and psychologically it was quite hard to go from, you know, being so lean and then slowly putting on more body fat, trying to get more muscle, but knowing that, you know, that ultra lean physique is going to go. What was that like? Is it hard psychologically?
Yeah, it is. Like, it really is. Like, it can affect different people in different ways. Like, I know some people that don't care and they'll just like explode up like 20 pounds heavier. They don't really care, whatever. But I think the biggest thing, especially nowadays with like social media and like you're posting pictures of yourself everywhere, I think if you're in that situation, it can affect you in a way of like obviously like when you post pictures on Instagram, it's like whatever, you're shirtless, you're showing your physique, and it can affect you like that. So definitely, it like it's one of those things where it's like, I know it sounds cliche, but it's like trust the process, right? Like the whole process is like obviously transitioning out of like your competition prep, like stage lean physique to like more of like bulkier kind of mode, whatever. So it's like, yeah, it can affect you, but like as long as you kind of like trust the process and like you know what you're doing, you know that this is like part of the process. Like, you got to get a bit heavier, bigger to like build on more muscle in order to look even better next year, right? So it's almost like delayed gratification. You may look like crap now, but it's like a couple of years or a couple of months from now, like you'll be a lot bigger now. So next time you do it, you'll be at that kind of like level of like leanness, but then with a lot more muscle mass, right? So definitely it's like an investment in yourself, right? So you may look like crap now, but like in the future, you'll look a lot better for it. So it's one of those things where it's like, again, you got to trust the process, because at the same time, like, yeah, you can try to stay super, super lean, but it's like you won't really make as much progress as you could have had you gained a bit more body fat and a lot more size because of that, right? So that's just my opinion on it.
It's quite a weird way to look at it, because, you know, eating more food actually leads to long-lasting gratification rather than the short-term gratification of eating more food.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway,
it's more like I enjoy eating food, like I do, right? But it's like I don't like seeing myself, like even like for me, like especially like I noticed I start getting like a lot heavier when my cheeks start to explode. Like genetically, like my cheeks have always kind of been super chubby. I used to be a chubby kid growing up, so that's one of the biggest things as well. But yeah, like again, it's part of the game, it's part of the process, so just enjoy it, or yeah.
Yeah, what advice would you give to someone who's kind of too afraid to bulk because they would maybe get too fat?
Yeah, like I said, it's just part of the game, part of the process. Like obviously, like I'm not recommending anyone to like balloon up, gain whatever 50 pounds of fat for no reason. Like obviously, this whole muscle building process, like it takes time. It's a lot easier to like gain fat than it is to gain muscle. So definitely, you do have to take your time with it. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, oh, you gotta like rush the process and like stuff yourself with food, because again, most likely most of that food will turn into fat and not muscle. So really take your time with it, but definitely you got to make sure, depending on your experience level, like obviously beginners can like recomp, gain muscle, lose fat at the same time, but like once you're a bit more experienced, definitely like I always recommend like a lean bulk approach. So at least making sure like you're in a caloric surplus, so like roughly like 200 to 300 calories above maintenance. So let's say, for example, you eat 3,000 calories just to like maintain your weight, bump it up to like 3,200, 3,300, kind of monitor your weights, monitor your progress in the gym, if your strength's going up week after week, if your weight's slightly going up week after week, about 1 to 2 pounds per week, then you're on the right track. And if you notice that your performance in the gym isn't going as well as you want it, or the weight is still staying the exact same, then you know, okay, it may be time to like bump it up. And like obviously you will have plateaus along the way. Like whatever you're eating now may work for the next couple of weeks and months, but after like a certain amount of time, you'll like hit a wall, you'll hit a plateau, and then it's time to like change things up. Most likely in terms of like adding more food to your diet, usually in the form of like carbs or fats. Like I usually keep protein the same, just 1 gram per pound of body weight. So yeah, I kind of like, I know I kind of rambled there, but yeah, that's just my whole approach.
No, it's fine. It shows the coaching side of you. You're used to spinning at those kind of facts. I wanted to talk to you about your social media career, because you know you've done really well considering it hasn't been that long that you've been in the game. I mean, what, 3 years? It's not that long of a time, and you've got nearly 30k followers on Instagram, 2.5k subscribers on YouTube, 20k on TikTok. What has motivated you to post on social media so much and so consistently? Yeah,
so like I said, I started in 2019. And like the biggest thing for me why I started is like I said, I used to like watch all these like fitness influencers on YouTube, Christian Guzman, Brennan Harding, all these like fitness people, right? And so just by simply watching their videos, it was really cool just like see them at the gym, vlogging, their lifestyle, their days of eating. And yeah, like I've been watching them for like a couple years prior to me actually starting my own kind of social media. And like I couldn't tell you why I started specifically in 2019. I just decided, you know what, I didn't have a camera. I just used like my crappy iPhone 6 that had like a cracked screen and whatever. But I decided, you know what, let me just do this let me just try it, see it out, post a couple of my bathroom mirror selfies on Instagram. Let me like film a workout for YouTube. Let me see how this goes. And honestly, like, it's really weird because like since then, I really haven't looked back since. Like I just kept doing it. I kept growing, like I kept posting, I kept doing it. And time after time, I just kept enjoying it more and more and more. And now it's like, it feels weird for me not to like document everything and like take pictures and like film stuff. Like it feels weird for me not to do that now. So yeah, definitely starting out, it was a bit weird, like filming yourself, especially like in public, even at home, like with your parents at home, like they see you like film yourself eating or like how to like make a recipe. That's a bit weird. Like even to this day, it's still kind of weird, but you get used to it. And that's like I said, over time, as long as you enjoy it and you keep posting consistently, it's really fun. And it's like at the beginning, I didn't really get that much like exposure in terms of like getting a bunch of followers. But the more you do it, the better you get at it as well. So like the better you get at it, more likely, the more followers you will get. And also like the more relatable you are, a lot of people can like gravitate towards that. They're like, oh, this guy is kind of similar to me. Or like, oh, this guy has like a similar physique. Or like he used to be where I used to be. And just like having that relatability with other people definitely helps as well. But yeah, since then, haven't really looked back since. And again, I enjoy it, so that's why I've kept doing it.
You are very consistent with your social media, and it's something that I really respect as well. On all your stories, same fonts all the time. It's like constantly new pictures. Like it's engaging. It's really good. It makes you want to look at it. And as much as social media is addicting, your posts, they fit in with that addictive cycle. Like you make people want to look at your page. What would be your tips? If you had three, I mean, pick your main bit of advice for someone that's starting out on social media, maybe someone like me, to be fair, and how you've grown to the point that you are today.
Yeah, so I kind of alluded this like in the previous question, but first things first is like, whatever you do, make sure you actually do what you enjoy. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like if you do something, whether it be like whatever, posting video, like yourself gaming, and it's like you don't actually enjoy doing it, you just want to do it because, you know, like it gets you money eventually, or it's like, you know, a lot of people are like e-gamers and like they get a bunch of money doing it. But at the end of the day, like if you don't enjoy it, definitely you won't sustain it in the long run. So I think the first tip I have for you, whatever you decide to do, whatever you want to do, make sure, number one, you actually enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you most likely won't stick to it. And you won't really find the enjoyment out of doing it. It's like it's like almost like going to like a 9 to 5, right? Like if you don't enjoy going to work, I mean, it pays the bills, right? But it's like you don't want to go there, and just like not enjoying it, right? So the first thing for me at least is to make sure you enjoy it. Second tip is, yeah, it's hard to like, these are in no particular order, but yeah, enjoying it. What else do I have to say? It's like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck with that question. Like for me,
You don't have to have anything else. You don't, it's kind of like that thing, like you do something so automatically every day, then it's really hard to then explain how you do that to another person.
Yeah,
It's like kind of driving a car or walking.
Yeah, I'm kind of having like a brain fart right now because again, like it all like kind of stems down to like you enjoying it, right? Because again, if you're not enjoying it, like there's no way you'll be doing it like 2, 3, 4, or 5 years from now, right? So that's the biggest thing. And then yeah, like a couple of small other things is like just engaging with like the people that are actually like watching you. Like when I had like whatever 100 followers, it's like, and like I never took those for granted, right? Like I messaged them, like I DM'd them, they asked me for help. I got back to them with as soon as I could with like whatever questions they had. So I'm really like whatever amount of followers you have, make sure you like give back to them, listen to them, answer them, message them. Like even to this day with all the followers I have right now, I still try to like answer all the DMs I get, answer all the questions I have. So definitely I don't take any of the followers for granted, whether you have 100 followers or whatever, 10K. So that, again, that's not really a tip, but it's like I definitely encourage you to like almost like have a community, right? Because I know a bunch of people are like influencers that like have a bunch of like followers, but like they're not really engaging with them. And it's like almost, it's like you want to be relatable to them, you want to like engage with them and give back to them as well. So I don't know, it's not really a tip, but it's definitely something that I would recommend most people to do.
I think it's a tip. I think it's a tip. And something else I wanted to ask you as well was, I think social media it's starting to become a little bit of a problem in society. I don't want to take anything away from your career because, to be fair, like I'm aspiring to be like you. But it's definitely, social media is a very addictive place. It's can be quite hard for people to escape it sometimes, and also quite hard for people to deal with what they're seeing online all the time. Do you do anything to cope with social media? Do you take time away from it, or is it like you're so immersed in it because it's your career and your job that it kind of takes over your life?
Yeah, so for me, I kind of use social media as like a platform to like create and like put content out instead of like consuming it, right? So like I like honestly like I don't really consume much content at all. Like I may watch like a couple of TikTok videos to like get inspiration and like ideas from, but I never find myself like binge watching it or whatever. I'm comparing myself to like other people and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. Like I view it as like a place to like put content out, to help other people, instead of like using it as like to consume everything, right? Because I know that can lead to like very addictive behaviors. And it can definitely, like, yeah, like you said, it's super addictive. Like, once you start on TikTok, it's like, oh, you keep scrolling, you see this video, and you see that video, and it's like nonstop, right? So that's the biggest thing for me. I view it as like a place to like put content out, engage with other people, and not necessarily consume it like every single day. And then secondly, this is like a really big thing, is that I do take time off social media, not like days of like taking time off, like certain times in the day, like. First thing when I get up in the morning, first thing I do, like, I don't open up my phone. Like, first thing I do, like, I have my entire morning routine, which is actually on my YouTube channel. But, yeah, first thing I do is, like, I'll get up, I'll get up, I'll take a cold shower, I'll get dressed, I'll do a bit of journaling. I'll write down a couple things I'm grateful for. I'm really just, like, get my mindset right and clear for the day. And then I'll make my morning coffee, whatever. And then after like an hour of me like actually being up and being awake, and like really being with myself, then I'll start like opening up my phone, doing my emails, coaching stuff like that, right? So yeah, 1 hour into my day, I don't even look at social media, I don't touch it. And then 1 hour before going to bed, I don't do any like screen time. Like I don't look at any blue lights, so no computer, no phone, no TV. I just meditate. Meditate. Yeah, I guess you could call it meditate. I just sit there, relax, stretch, whatever, and really just like get my mind off it. So having those kind of like two kind of gaps, like in the beginning of the day and then at the end of the day, just to like allow my body to like just like not see social media, definitely helps me a lot. Because like you see, like during the day, like I spend most of my time on it. It's how I earn my money. I kind of have to do it in order to like live here, right? So, yeah, that's like the biggest thing for me, especially if you're like a content creator or whatever you want to call yourself. I definitely do recommend having at least some time within the day to like not be on it. That's just what I enjoy or what I recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. I respect it, mate, because, you know, social media, as much as it kind of can be this amazing thing that everyone loves, it can also take over your life a bit too much. And coming to that, has there ever been a moment when, because obviously you've got these tactics and kind of things to implement now, what caused that? Was there a moment when it got a little bit too much and you realised, right, I need to take a step back?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like I've never really had this addictive behavior to social media. Like I've always, like, I don't know, like my mom is like really not against it, but it's like I don't know, she's not really into like technology, social media. And it's like, I don't know, like maybe she influenced me, but like I've always like had I've always had this thing, and it's probably not true or not, but like I've always had this thing where it's like, if I look on my phone right before going to bed, I assume that I'll have a really bad sleep. Like, I don't know why, if it's the blue lights, whatever, but I've almost like grown up with like not necessarily like looking at my phone or TV before going to bed. So that's like, I don't know, from my childhood. It's probably, I don't know if it makes sense or not, but it's kind of like I'm so used to it, so I've just continued doing it. And then for me, like in the morning, yeah, like I've just tried not, like, I don't know, I've just tried not to like go on my phone first thing in the morning, because like I said, I do my whole like kind of morning routine. And that's also another big thing that's helped me a lot, just like having like a good kind of morning and night routine before like going to bed or upon waking up, I think is really good, because like a routine is like something you stick to. And if your routine doesn't involve any screen time or any phone, social media, and it's like you won't even do it, right? Obviously, it takes discipline, and if you're not used to it, it may take some time to get used to. But over time, you definitely feel like you definitely feel like a lot better about yourself, and you feel a lot more productive as well. So definitely, if you do struggle with that, I would say like try it out. Doesn't have to be like an hour of like not being on it before bed, maybe like 30 minutes, 15 minutes before going to bed. But, like try it out, see, experiment with it. And then again, having like a good routine, like making sure that instead of screen time, let me like read a book, or let me like do something else. Let me like talk to my mom, to my dad, to my grandparents. Let me like talk to my friends. Let me do something else to like fill that time. So instead of like being on your phone, social media, try to replace it with something else. It's something you can try out.
I think a lot of young people could really do with hearing that. So, you know, I hope they're listening, and I hope they take it on board, because it's clearly benefiting you, and it, you know, it's clearly putting you on the right track.
One more thing to touch on that is really quickly is that I've never experienced this myself before, but I know a lot of people have experienced like the whole burnout thing. So it's like if you're constantly on your phone, constantly like on social media, like I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it's like a lot of people like kind of like, I don't know, burn out in a way, like get sick and tired of it, and it can be really like draining mentally to like be on your phone all the time and like look at it. So yeah, if you experience yourself like being drained or like feeling burnt out, definitely I would recommend just like taking some time away from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some other topic ideas in mind, but I kind of want to get you on again.
Yeah,
I want to speak to you again, so maybe I'll save them for the future. But the last kind of question I've got is, what is the end goal for all this? You know, you're starting out as a bodybuilder. You're an influencer at the end of the day, a fitness influencer at the moment. What is the point where you really want to get to in 10 years' time? Where do you want to be?
Yeah, so I mean, first things first, I've never considered myself as like an influencer or whatever. But the main thing, I've never even thought about this, to be honest. Like I said, like I keep saying, I just take it day by day. Whatever tomorrow brings, we'll see, right? But for me, like, I really do enjoy bodybuilding, so I definitely see myself doing future shows in the future. I definitely want to take it, I don't know, as far as I can. Like, we'll see what happens. So that's, like, the biggest thing in terms of bodybuilding. I definitely want to take it, like, the next step further. And then with social media, it's, like, one of those things where it's, like, I don't know, it's like a never-ending thing. It's, like, once you reach a certain amount of followers, you're like, okay, I got it. What's the next thing? Once I hit 10K, let me hit 15K. Once I hit 15K, let me hit 20K. It's like the never-ending goal, right? So I think with social media, I never, like, obviously, like, I have mini goals that I set for myself by certain end dates just to make it fun and challenging. But then it's like once you reach that goal, it's like you automatically already make a new goal, right? So I think that's the whole thing with social media. So I never really have like 10 years from now, like I never had like this end goal where I want to be. Like I said, I really enjoy documenting my process, documenting my journey, sharing my knowledge, helping other people. So I think along with my bodybuilding journey, whatever, and the more knowledge I accrue, I want to just keep giving back, keep documenting my journey, and keep doing that. And however many followers I accrue from that is whatever I get, right? So again, I don't really have an end goal with this. I just keep doing it, keep, like I said, as long as I keep enjoying it, I'll keep doing it. So, yeah, like the end goal 10 years from now, like who knows, social media may not even be here, and there may be something new, right? Something new, trendy, whatever it may be, right? So definitely just like going with the times. Like when I first started, like TikTok wasn't even a thing. Like it probably was, but it definitely wasn't big. And like now it's like I'm on TikTok, like I'm posting on TikTok all the time, right? So yeah, like just constantly going with the times, whatever is trending 10 years from now is most likely what I'll be doing. But yeah, definitely along with that, lastly, is I do enjoy this. Like I definitely do want to continue growing my coaching business. Like that's something that's like I really enjoy, and I definitely want to keep growing it, keep getting more clients, keep helping more people, because that is something I really enjoy doing. So yeah, that's like, those are like my biggest things moving forward.
And when do you think you'll be competing again? Is it a matter of 2-3 years?
So obviously being in Houston now, I don't know if you heard of this, but it's called Summer Shredding, and it's like super big and popular here, like Alpha Land, Alpha Elite, stuff like that. So there's actually a show this past June last month, and it was just really cool, like seeing all these people compete, just being in this environment, surrounding yourself by other people that actually do this as well. It's really inspiring and cool to see. Yeah, in terms of like wanting to do it again, like I'd love to do it one again next year, but at the same time, I don't want to step on stage next year again looking the same I did 2 years ago, right? If that makes sense. So I definitely, next time I do it, I definitely want to do it knowing that I've made significant improvements within my physique and actually bring like a better package on the stage. So could be a year from now, could be 2 years from now, but I definitely know that like I'm in this for the long game. I'm not in this to like for a quick fix, to like do it quickly, just to like for social media clouds, whatever. I do it because like I genuinely enjoy it. So maybe next year we'll see if I'm big enough. Like you'll never be big enough, right? But yeah, next year, or like at least next year or the year after, let's just say.
And then this has been brilliant, really, really good. Where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so Instagram is probably like my main kind of thing. So that would be Cohnan Kotarski. Hopefully you can kind of spell out the name for them and like the show notes, because my name's kind of hard to spell. So Cohnan Kotarski on Instagram, Cohnan Kotarski on YouTube, and then just Cohnan on TikTok. So those are like my... And
that's with a H. I'm going to put it all over the video, but that's with
a H. Yeah, it's like Cohnan. Don't ask me why the H is there in the middle, just whatever. Ask my parents.
Thanks so much. And yeah, this has been Cohnan Kotarski.